Welcome everybody to this week's episode of Ant on Music. I, of course, am your host, Ant, and I'm happy that you're all here to check out this week's episode. I'm going to try and squeeze in another episode in between now and next weekend, which is Record Store Day 2026. I've been checking my list and adding to it twice, and I'm going to be naughty when I get there and feed this horrible vinyl vice that I have. So we'll talk about that. You know, there's a lot of good stuff going to be on that list. Hopefully I get my hands on the stuff that I want, or at least the majority of it. And this week, we've got a great box set. If you didn't see the intro, if you skip through that, I don't know why, but we got the Queen 2 box set to look at and a few other new releases that have come out in the past couple of weeks. Some limited editions, some colored vinyl, you name it, live stuff. So we've got a whole great big bag of stuff to get through, and we're going to jump into it right after I annoy you to give a thumbs up, click like, drop comments. There was some good talk last week or a couple of weeks back about the Van Halen 5150 anniversary set. Also, subscribe. That's what I really want to do. I want to grow the channel. We're on our way to 600 people. We're in the 540s, which is great. I'm really happy that more people seem to enjoy what I do week in and week out. If you haven't noticed, you don't see the microphone anymore. When I first started up, didn't have a mic. Then I went to the point of having the mic, and it was right here in my face, and I felt that it was not so much blocking me, but blocking the albums. So I kind of using it as a boom mic in a way. So it is here, but a little bit off camera. So hopefully that doesn't deteriorate the sound quality of the episodes. If it does, let me know in the comments. We'll go back to shoving the mic in my face. It's fine. It doesn't bother me. So we're going to start off like I left off last week. I said we're going to have a very, very English type show this week with one exception. That exception being this album, all right, Indigo Park by Bruce Hornsby. Yes, Bruce Hornsby's been around for a real long time. Originally came around with The Range. Then he had joined the Grateful Dead for a while, and the only time I've seen the Grateful Dead or Bruce Hornsby was when he was with the Grateful Dead. So it's pretty cool. I went because you have to go see the Dead at least once. And I'm a massive Hornsby fan, so that was very, very cool. So this is his new album, Indigo Park. It's about his life growing up. And if you've heard anything lately about what's going to be coming out the end of May, right after my birthday, is Paul McCartney's going to have an album talking about what it was like for him growing up. So in a way, this is very, very similar. It's on Zappo Records. It is a beautiful color vinyl. It's a frosted blue. All right, and this is limited to 750 units worldwide, and it is an indie record store exclusive. It's got Ezra Koenig on here as a guest, also Bob Weir from the Dead, Robert Hunter, writer for the Dead, lyricist for the Dead, writes a couple of tunes on here, and Bonnie Raitt. And we'll talk about all that. I will say this. The one track that really disappointed me, I hate to say, is the Bonnie Raitt track. And, years and years ago, Bruce had been doing piano work for Bonnie on a couple of her bigger hits. And Bonnie just contributes background vocals on one song called Ecstatic, I believe. Yep, Ecstatic. It's the last song on side A. I love Bonnie. Bonnie's a phenomenal guitar player, a phenomenal slide guitar player. And not to utilize that talent, it just seems like such a waste. So it's kind of like she's on here. You do hear in the background vocals on that song. It left me wanting more. It kicks off with the title track, Indigo Park, which is really cool too. Memory Palace is cool. Entropy here, Rust in Peace, Meds and Meds. Silhouette Shadows, I dig. Alabama, not a big fan of that one. North Dakota, Slate Roof. Sliver of Time. Might As Well Be Me, Florinda, which is, I believe, one of the Hunter tunes, and it's not sure if that's the one that Weir's on. And Take a Light Strain. And I'm going to check because there is this lovely little insert in there, which has your lyrics and liner notes. And Florinda It Might As Well Be You is a Hunter tune, but is that the one that has Bobby Weir on it? Yes, that is the one that has Bobby Weir on it. And the other tune on here that is a Bob Hunter tune is, where is it? I know there were two of them. Ezra Koenig is on Memory Palace. And I can't find the other one. Looking quick. We don't have, oh, the other Hunter tune is Alabama, which, like I said, didn't really do much for me. But overall, solid album by Hornsby. This is like the fourth in a row where he's had some really excellent stuff, especially for a guy that's been writing and recording for as long as he has. The last one before this is up behind me, Afflicted. Very good stuff, which came after Non-Secure Connection, and I can't remember the first one on the String of Four, but good stuff. So, moving right along, we have a concept album. And it's not a prog band. How about that? And it's not even like a heavy metal album or anything like that. So no Queensryche, no Pink Floyd, but it's one of my favorite bands that started off in the 70s. And happy to be wearing the shirt. All right. Squeeze is a band I got to see a few times back in their heyday in '87, and then in the '90s again when they played the last show at Malibu Nightclub on Long Island. I was there for that. I've also managed to see Glenn Tilbrook solo as well, right at Daryl's house here where I live in Pauling, New York, in the Hudson Valley. But he is back with Chris Difford and company. And we have their new album called Trixies. And this is a concept album. It deals with this nightclub, burlesque strip club sort of deal. And you can see all the caricatures inside. And it is a very cool album. They have this great insert in here. It's as if it's a trifold menu, which is where you get your lyrics for the album, which is really cool. And I do dig this. They have some great tunes on here. What More Can I Say kicks it off. You Get the Feeling is, I believe, the first single. Got the hype sticker here. This is on transparent red vinyl. And You Get the Feeling and Why Don't You are the two singles being released from this one. The Place We Call Mars I dig. Hell on Earth. Good Riddance. The Dancer. There's the band. Don't Go Out in the Dark. Anything But Me. Why Don't You? It's Over. And Trixies Part 1 and Part 2. And The Jaguars. And there's all your the rest of your liner notes right there. And, almost every tune except two is written by the pair of Difford and Tilbrook, which Chris Difford does have writing credits on two tracks, The Dancer and It's Over. Very strong album. It's not like you would expect from Squeeze, along the lines of singles 45 and under, the big greatest hits package, or any of the other stuff. And it's going to be hard to tell, but if you look inside here, it's kind of like there's curtains for the acts to take the stage. So very, very neat. I'm definitely glad that I got this. I ordered it directly from the band, and of course there were delays coming over from England and what have you. So, but I am happy that I did receive this, as I am a big Squeeze fan, and I hope that they tour America at some point and I get a chance to see them yet again. All right. Next up is someone that I am going to see. So far, it's the only person that I have tickets for to see in concert this year. And it's someone that's been on my bucket list for a long time. Another fantastic pianist, all right? Phenomenal songwriter, spent some time here in New York, wrote his classic album, Night and Day, here in New York, talking about Joe Jackson. And, Joe's always very involved with everything that goes on with him. He even came up with the concept for the cover art on this one. Very, very cool. It's called Hope and Fury, and it is a great album. I really do dig Joe Jackson. Of course, he's keeping calm and carrying on as the world burns behind him and goes to hell. Album has songs on here called Welcome to Burning by Sea. Plain black, but, see the labels there. And, oh, I never showed you the squeeze red vinyl. We'll do that in a second. I'm Not Sorry, Made God Laugh, Do, Fabulous People, After All This Time, The Face, End of the Pier, and See You in September. And it's pretty solid. I've listened to it twice. It came out yesterday. I've listened to it twice all the way through. And it's growing on me, growing on me quickly. And I'm going to absorb more of it after I'm done uploading this episode. Before we jump into the next one, let's take a look at the squeeze, which I absentmindedly forgot to show you. So this candy apple red transparent vinyl, very, very cool. Label's cool. It's got the album cover on one side, track listing on the other. So that's that. And moving right along, we're going to go to a live one. So I can't wait to see Joe Jackson live. I've never had the opportunity, and he's playing basically in my backyard. So the wife and I are going to go check that out. And yep, there's no insert, very plain. Everything you needed to know is right there. Get your lyrics and liner notes in the gatefold sleeve. So that brings us to the live album I have. Now this was something that was released on CD, I believe back in the summer of last year, and it's finally getting a vinyl release. Talking about Peter Gabriel in the Big Room. This is live at his Real World Studios back in 2003. It is a 2 LP set. And he's got a great band on this. And there you go, you get a picture from inside the Big Room. If you're not familiar with Peter Gabriel has his Real World Studios where, not only does he do recording, but many artists such as Marillion have recorded there as well. The vinyl itself is basic black, but the labels have and then on the other two, Big Room. So we'll show you all of that. Then we'll talk about, there you go. So then we'll talk about the track listing. Track listing is pretty strong for this live set. You got Burn You Up, Burn You Down, More Than This, Games Without Frontiers, which is an absolute stone cold classic, Downside Up, Mercy Street, which is just incredible, Darkness, then one of my favorite tunes of Peter Gabriel, Digging in the Dirt, The Tower That Ate People, and then we get San Jacinto and Shock the Monkey back to back, two fantastic tunes, Signal to Noise, Secret World, Father, Son, and closing out with In Your Eyes. And the band is, like I said, fantastic. You got Tony Levin on bass and vocals, David Rhodes on guitar and backing vocals, Rich Evans, guitar, Rachel Z on keyboards, Ged Lynch on drums, Melanie Gabriel on vocals, and of course Peter on vocals and keys. So, this is a great one. I'm glad that I was able to pick it up and add it to my Peter Gabriel collection, which, looking forward to the new album, OI, coming out, which is the follow-up to I.O. from a couple of years back, which I absolutely loved, and I got to see Peter again in concert, which is always a treat. So now, what we've been waiting for, the big box set of the week, all right? And this, it's heavy. It's got some weight to it. Talking about the majesty known as Queen 2, all right? And this album is one of my favorites. This was such a sonic leap forward for the band. They were, it's back then when this album was released and recorded, it wasn't like they had all of the studio trickery that was so readily available at the push of a button like today. Things like layered vocals and things like that took a lot of time. And you had three guys in the band that sang, and they had these magnificent layered vocals. And this is just a stunning box set. Comes on the heels of last year's Queen 1, which if you go back and find it, I have a video on that. So this is actually the cover. And once you take off the shrink, you get that just as it was with the first one. And they've split it into, I'll show you the hype sticker too. Yeah, it's a lot of material on here. Very cool. They split it into a white album and a black album. Okay, so here's the white album. And it's basically side 1 is on side 1, and side 2 on the white album is a little bit of artwork. So on this we get Procession, Father to Son, White Queen, As It Began, Someday, One Day, and The Loser in the End. And, of course, you have the White Album and the White Album. And let's see if we can get you to see this. It's going to be tough, but there we go. It looks like it's a little visible there. You got the Q, all right, for Queen, of course. And I'm sure you can figure out what the Black Album looks like, right? And this was where they really, found their footing as far as being a studio act, and they really got into, creating these great layered effects. The songwriting definitely was a bit up. People at the beginning weren't exactly thrilled with the album, but it has become one of their classics. And of course, that iconic image of the band, just absolutely amazing. On this, we get the very, very prog forward Ogre Battle, the Fairy Fellows Master Stroke, Nevermore, the March of the Black Queen, Funny How Love Is, and Seven Seas of Rye. And you also get the Queen imprint on the bottom there. And, of course, like I said, Black Album. And there's the 2. So you got Q2, right? Queen 2. And in addition to that, you get a boatload of discs, too, which is really awesome. Lots of additional bonus material aside from the album, which, I mean, I think it's cool that they did this, splitting it up white and black. Could have they combined it, lessen the price for everybody? Yeah, but, if you're into these big box sets, you're into these big box sets and all the goodies that come along with it. So this is all the discs. And for the discs, all right, we get on here, we get the 2026 mix of Queen 2 with all the tracks already talked about. We also get the sessions for Queen 2 on CD 2, which is, you can go through and look it up. Not going to go through every single track. You also get the backing tracks without vocals. So the whole album, yet again, with no vocals whatsoever. Then discs 4 and 5, you get Queen live at the BBC with See What a Fool I've Been, The Ogre Battle, Nevermore, and White Queen As It Began from shows in 73 and 74. And then you also get a full concert, and it's very cool how they put everybody on their own discs, and of course the band all together with that classic shot. And then Queen live at the Hippodrome, you get Procession, Father to Son, Son and Daughter, guitar solo, Son and Daughter, the reprise, Ogre Battle, Liar, Jailhouse Rock, the Procession intro tape, again, Father to Son, Ogre Battle, White Queen As Began, The March of the Black Queen, Fairy Fellows Master Stroke, Seven Seas of Rye, and See What a Fool I've Been. And that's from the Rainbow in 74. And in addition to that, there's more goodies. That covers the music part. But we also got these really awesome looking high gloss cards of each of the band members. As I always say, suitable for framing. Very, very neat. And that's not all. You also get, one of my favorite things is knowing about, I'm one of those guys that likes to know, especially with classic albums like this, what transpired, how did they get to where they were, and there's this great, huge hardcover book. Let's get this out without damaging the box itself. This is very tight of a fit. There we go. Queen 2. And it's got some excellent pictures in here. And it goes into, in great detail about the making of this album and where they were as far as being a band is concerned. I'll show you a couple other pictures and we'll call it a day. Next week, like I said, you're going to see, probably going to drop in another one of my albums that's missing up in the ether is supposed to arrive Monday, and that's probably going to encourage me to do a short video, maybe 2-3 albums, and that's going to be much more on the metal side. So, got some flyers, not liars, but flyers, from Queen when they were back young and hungry, and just finding their feet. Just absolutely epic stuff. really glad. I can't wait to get, for me, one of my favorite albums. I know it's going to be divisive. Jazz, absolutely love that album. If they do a big box set of Jazz, and also News of the World, I know they did one a while back, but if they do another one along the lines of Queen 1 and 2, I'll be more than thrilled. So, that is everything I have for you this week. I thank you for checking out the channel. If you're new here, dig around. I'm sure there's going to be something else you're going to be into. Until next time, peace, one love, music, I'm out.